This is my review of My Hero Academia, Chapter 220, My Villain Academia, which, very concerning for a title. The whole chapter takes place from the point of view as the villains, what they've been doing last couple of months, and how it is they managed to get that super powerful Nomu to attack Endeavor, and what their next step is. But at the beginning, they're basically broke and useless. All their toys and their equipment is basically busted, so they decide, you know what, let's go make some money stealing from people. Given that they are villains such as they are, I wouldn't have been surprised if they were stealing from nuns or orphans or banks. But instead they go after the Creature Rejection Clan, or the CRC, which is basically a violent extremist hate group, or terrorist, who go around committing crimes against people with hedomorphic quirks, or quirks that change the body. Their opinion is that anyone who is morphed by their quirk is a monster, an abomination, a crime against nature, and should be put down. So I don't really mourn their deaths, because they all seem like horrible people. And they wear skull masks, and they're terrorists. So, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I don't really mind that the League of Villains killed all of them. From there, we move back to the shabby little hideout they've been hiding in, and things aren't going great. They are really, really broke, and they are really broke, and they are in need of upgrades and repairs to their equipment, new members. They just need more than what they have right now. From there, it was said that Komagiri left a month ago to find some great power that All For One. There was a great power that was left behind by All For One, and with it, they can attain prosperity and happiness again. They can attain what they've lost from losing All For One. But what's more, they're also looking for the Doctor, and there has been a lot of speculation about who this Doctor is, what he wants, what his ultimate goals are. Is he the actual All For One, and the one we saw before, which is the puppet? What is his overall role in this? There's a very interesting theory I like, which says basically that the Doctor was Deku's Doctor when he was a kid. They kind of look alike if you compare them side by side. And that he stole Deku's quirk as a kid because All For One wanted it. Would certainly be interesting if at the end of this Deku loses All For One. If at the end of this Deku loses One For All but gets his own original quirk back. That'd certainly be interesting. But what's more is the Doctor. He's the one who developed and managed the Nomu, which already means he's way more important than a lot of people thought he was. I've certainly saw people online just speculating, oh, he's just a doctor, don't think too much about him. He doesn't have that much of a role, but if he's the one who developed and managed the Nomu, that means he has certain skill or quirk that could be very powerful and very useful. We already know that there's a Nomu attack after this one, which means that he can still make them even without All For One helping him. Or he has some that are set up already before All For One left. Again, there's a little iffy with the timeline, but now that we're doing a flashback, I think we're going to answer all those questions. I think the next 5 or 6 chapters are going to be all from the villain's point of view. And we're going to learn more about them, what they've been up to, and what their ultimate goal really is. There we learn a little bit more about Spinner, and honestly, I expected him to die right here. I really expected him just to be turned to dust when he stood up to the boss and said, why are we even here? I'm here because of Stain. Stain told me to stand up and fight for what I believed was right against this corrupt and evil world. And before he can even make a comeback, they are attacked by Big Boy. Big Boy. He basically just explains that he devoted himself to All For One. He lived for him. He's been wandering the woods for 20-something years because of All For One's orders. And he is just not happy with All For One's successor. I mean, in his eyes, he is weak, he is pathetic, he is basically garbage. And when he finds that out, he starts crying uncontrollably. Which, interesting. And then we get to the final page. The radio that Big Boy's been wearing all these years, the Doctor can reach out to it. The Doctor can communicate over it. And maybe listen from it as well. And he reached out to Homaru to communicate with him. And hopefully, not hopefully, but this will probably be how they get their power. now the Doctor will convince the Giant to coordinate with them, and with the Doctor making no move again, they're back in power, they're back in control, they're a real threat again. I'm going to think something happened between this and the Endeavor attack for them to want to get, Hawk to go undercover inside the League of Villains. Doesn't make a lot of sense for them to go through all this trouble of trying to take out the League of Villains when they've already taken out the leader. They've already stopped All for One. They shouldn't really be that afraid of those who are left behind. Which makes me think that maybe there's going to be some more Nomu attacks before the Endeavor thing, some serious ones that worry the government enough that they decide, you know what, Hawk, you need to go undercover. You need to fix this thing right now. So yeah, next chapter, probably Doctor teaming up with Big Boy and the League of Villains to figure out their next plans, decide what they're going to do, what's happening. Also just had an interesting thought. Girin, the shopkeeper, the merchant, the black armsman, the black market salesman. It's entirely possible that the League of Villains knows he's been captured and he's got like a wire on him. Like the last page of this whole League of Villain arc could be them saying, Girin, I think this guy's going after you. Wear this bug, and if you get in any trouble, just hit it twice, and we'll come running and save you. It could lead to an interesting confrontation between the League of Villains and the Cult of Destro. But again, that's just a quick theory. So let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And until next week, peace.